I've been a tutor from the late 80s when I was an honours student, and then I went and worked for a couple of years, and I came back and did a PhD. And while I was a PhD student, I was a tutor again. And then with Notre Dame University opening up, there was a chance to be a unit coordinator, and I eased in with their new environmental program and took on increasing responsibility in unit coordination. But it was a lovely transition to go from tutoring, where you're involved in a unit but you don't have much control, to all of a sudden being the person who's in charge, and that's a nice thing. I was totally thrown in the deep end, but I was up for that. I think that's pretty normal. That's a fairly typical experience that most academics are, especially if they're making a transition from a PhD or a postdoc to becoming a starting 8 academic. You just get parachuted in and you're told, off you go. A lot comes down to your personality and what you're up for. Presumably, if you're taking on unit coordination, it's because you want to. And as we know, academics aren't paid all that much money, so you've probably got the passion to want to do that in the first place. And that's got you 9/10 of the way there. Because if you really love your subject and you love the idea of teaching your subject, you're going to be fine. It's just that it's going to be hectic as well for that first period, trying to work out what's going on. And I guess I have advice that I would divide into different ways of thinking about it. Some of the advice would be about the administrative procedures you need to learn or follow, and some of it would be about how the advice of others, how you treat that and how you take that on board. Because there's a lot of good-meaning people who will give you lots of advice, but I'm not so sure that it's always helpful. It's nice if you have a senior academic or some kind of mentor. That's obviously really useful. It's also nice if the person who previously taught that unit, assuming it's not a new unit, is around to give you some tips about what they did and what their experience was and what you can expect. I think that's vital. And I had the pleasure of that process just about a year ago, where a unit I'd been coordinating for a number of years, I was handing over to a brand new staff member, and I was able to help her directly with some of the anticipation of what might go on. And that was an interesting process for me as a unit coordinator, because on the one hand you have developed this passion for your teaching and your topic, and so there's a danger that you can be too possessive of it. So in the process of handing it over, I wanted to make it clear that it was this new staff member's unit and she had to do it her way, and this was just my advice only, and take it or leave it. So I was really aware of my passion for the topic, and then not wanting to be too intrusive on her way of doing it. I wanted to make it clear that one of the great things of being a unit coordinator is the freedom to teach the course in the way that you would like to do it.